Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn, they made it to shore. I thought these bloody collars were supposed to keep those things at bay. Magister Jalen from the ship. I would have chosen a swifter death for him myself.
The child has a small mirror in his hands. He holds it up at angles, inspecting his eyes, his chin, the crown of his head. He spots you, and his arms snap to his sides.
I'm not supposed to talk to elves. Pa told me elves and lizards and dwarves bring bad guys. Void guys. That's right, isn't it? I guess I'm a sorcerer too. That's why I'm here, right? And you too?
The child screws up his face and looks at you hard. He lifts his mirror up to his nose, closes one eye, and looks at himself again.
I don't see any source on you or me. I guess they're wrong or crazy. Maybe you're right. At least they don't mind where anyone goes. They know we can't leave the island, and it's a lot nicer out here than outside. But you didn't die. Guess I am, but it's just normal to be scared. Nowhere isn't scary. There isn't anywhere safer. That's what I mean. You'll see.
You spot a strange lizard gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. His skin is of a bright, blood-red colour. Could he be... Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep. The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer, or a duelist. You lock eyes with his, two smouldering embers that sizzle your very soul.
No, I do not. Then again, I don't belong to the House of Dreams. I'm a prince of the House of War, a house you seem to be all too familiar with, judging by that rather fetching mark on your cheek. I have not. But how fortuitous it is indeed for a slave girl to walk on by and confirm a dreamer's presence on this isle. Now that you've served your purpose, though, you and I have a problem. You've clearly relinquished your duties by running away from your rightful master, a crime punishable by death. You know, I think I've heard of you. The assassin with the needle. I'd much rather have one such as you for an ally, not an adversary. After all, you did come back for me and all those others on a sinking ship. What do you say we bury the hatchet, you and I? For now, at least. I see. Well, I had rather you didn't. I'd rather continue to contemplate the sea, and see you continue along your merry way. Wouldn't that be preferable? Good, very good. I'm glad you're being so sensible. Glad I can return...
He sighs dramatically.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? Judging by the dark pools that are your eyes, I'd say you're seeing yourself.
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you. A few tranquil moments pass as the waves lap against your thoughts.
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see an empire. I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Lost. Yes, but these weren't castles in the sky, were they? Quite obviously, I was musing over the very actual empire that I lost.
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended, he
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. I already told you I'm a prince. Do you mean to tell me you don't know who I am? Oh, may the Seven have mercy on their own. I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror. Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent pose deflates ever so slightly.
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between all-conquering and world-taming opportunities at the moment. The grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never you worry. For the throne I was destined, and my throne I shall have. This and that. Tag along. Do you really mean to compare the fate of an empire to whatever, on the other hand, I really could do with it? Fine. I accept on one condition. For reasons I'll not disclose right now, it is imperative that I should meet with a dreamer, one of the mystics of my kind. I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island, most likely the same chap you're looking for. Promise me we'll find him, and I'll extend you the blessing of my company. You do tend to beat around the bush, don't you? Oh well, that wishy... So, now that that's settled, first things first. Even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I am, that our swords will be doing a lot of the talking from here on. As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic, and yes, even subterfuge. What say you? Very well. Onwards then to victory or death.
The Red Prince nods and gives you a smile that wavers ever so delicately.
Now, as you're aware, you'll be traveling with a prince. Proper forms of address include Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, or if you're feeling... As your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't be required to carry... Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but I'll see to it you'll pick up the rest as we go. So...
creature. Almost as graceful as I am. What's this? I found something. I wonder where this leads.
As the alcove opens up, you see the same skeleton that you met on the boat before it sank. He's still not wearing his mask. He's leaning over a corpse, prodding and pulling at the skin of its bugger.
How on earth am I supposed to...
Skeletal fingers reach down and grip the skin of the dead man's face, pulling sharply upwards. After a few more tugs at the man's cheeks, the skeleton relents, letting the head drop to the ground with a damp thud.
Damnation. That stuck fast. I wonder, does the beard act... Ah! No! Stay back! Don't... Oh, it's you. I must admit I'm surprised. Perhaps you're more buoyant than I suspected. It seems the human that stole my mask was rather more resourceful than I gave her. I chased her here.
He turns back to the body, prodding at its face cautiously.
Why, its face, of course. What other use would I have for a face that seemed... I would normally... I could then craft...
The skeleton grabs the corpse by the cheeks and pulls hard, grunting in frustration as the body's skin...
Oh, don't be ridiculous. I cannot Indeed. At least from this realm. As for the others... Well, I suppose, circumstances being what they are, you seem more... at ease in this world than I. Excellent. While we are conversing... Perhaps you know... Of course, the arcane arts are my little I could do that with... Splendid. Very well.
Hey, lady. I'm sure glad you went...
We already know the truth, Magister. Now speak. Stay back, sorcerer, and stay silent. Our Godwoken speaks.
We know you've been helping sorcerers escape, Atusa. We have proof.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander. I know nothing of any escapees.
If you can tell the Godwoken no more, your
This can't be
You should know by now to obey your superior.
Atusa pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers and brings her...
Stop! My father. May the fate of our... Dallas?
Yes, Your Holiness. What a waste. Come, we'll be needed elsewhere.
The lizard magister, or what's left of her, lies in a puddle of gore.
Come on, old man. I can't wait all day.
She was a lizard, yet a magister. No matter her reasons, her penalty was fair.
These creatures are so prone to...
He hasn't changed a bit. I find I need bread. I want no trouble.
Bread or brisket, both the same. You keep his name out of your mouth, you filthy cod chewer.
Have your cud.
As you approach the blacksmith, you feel a...
If it would be and
Thane approaches Thane's... What? Thane backs away, scratching his head.